2, 1.
Another video.
You're cutting out so
You're
much.
cutting out so bad.
Which mic am I? Okay, anyway, whatever. Welcome to the Johnson Report. Yippee, yippee, yippee. We're back again. I hope to God I'm not cutting out, but it goes
You're
crazy
good.
if
You're
I am.
good.
You hear me, friend? You're another
missing your.
video.
Uh-huh.
Alright, it's been a while since we did a funny Johnson Report. It's been a couple, like, at least a month and a half. But the people joining the Johnson Report today is Gavin,
Yay.
Dylan,
Yippee!
and Matthew.
Good evening.
And speaking of Matthew very much wants to start us off, so why don't you go ahead and do that?
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for giving us your time. In quite recent as yesterday, Beaufort County was attacked by Chinese balloons yesterday. Isn't that right?
Yes, I was
Wasn't it
personally
Raleigh?
affected. It was
They were
Raleigh.
cut off the coast. No, this
I
was.
was personally affected.
Yeah, I got hit by the balloon when it came down.
I will
sucked
say,
in all the helium.
I did go outside with the shotgun and took a few shots at it.
Oh,
Well,
dang, you took it down.
Didn't we all? I mean, I was out there shooting slugs at it.
I think
Who up with a patriotic self doing that?
if Balloon's tower defense has taught us anything, then
Bro, I went
it's
full
a
Put on
team
a
super
effort.
monkey skin suit and
It's
went
a team
crazy.
effort.
I went off super monkey on that balloon.
And I'd like to say before Matthew starts this real conversation that something like this really does unify the United States.
I'm telling you, okay, Matthew,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but say like freaking, it takes killer clowns to unify the country and balloons from China. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
man.
Matthew, you can start.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's take a look
Let's
at
do
how we as Beaufort County approach this predicament.
I
Let's
guess
take a look.
first, right, real quick, we should identify the two media outlets we're using, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
Yes.
do you want me to do that real quick, or would you like to?
Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
WITN.
Yeah, WITN and WNCT, which are both based out of Greenville.
Close enough.
So
Personally, I grew up on WITN. What did you guys grow up on?
Grope on?
No, grow up on.
I was a channel flipper. I wasn't either one of them.
I was a
Right.
freaking numbskull, so I was scratching my head.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. I just watched it to make sure I wasn't gonna have a panic attack.
I was a Today Show viewer because I like them screaming.
All right, Matthew, go on ahead now. Go ahead, segue us in.
Go ahead.
I think I basically said it. There's balloons and they're flying.
A balloon. Yes.
A balloon. But
a
we
Chinese
don't.
spy balloon.
Okay, if I can add something, I think personally, yeah, it's a weather balloon, and it flew into our airspace. But the way the entire not even just Beaufort County acted about how everyone else acted. Like this was a national threat. I mean, there were fighter jets circling the thing, and they shot it down.
That was I like watching the videos. It's pretty funny.
I mean, Dylan, I'll send it to you. But there's this video of SpongeBob and Patrick running up to the police officer talking about a balloon. I'll send it to you so you can put it in.
All right. So,
but yeah, you can go.
I guess really what we're trying to get into today is talking about how these two news sites have, displayed the story differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them we're talking about obviously.
Yeah.
One of them is U.S. downs Chinese balloon drawing a threat from China. That is that's kind of fear mongering.
Do we want to start? Which one do we want to start with? WITN. So the title is U.S. downs Chinese balloon drawing a threat from China, as you just said.
which we kind of did get. China did respond. It was like, which they were kind of right. They were kind of like, hey, you guys kind of really overreacted to a balloon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like you should have like talked to us.
I
Yeah.
think
Well,
really that China was just like saying what we would do.
They were
exactly
saying
did they
like
say? I don't think I
they
actually
did.
heard.
They
Did
said
they say
like
anything?
there will be like repercussions.
Wow. Okay.
No, my balloon.
They're gonna send monkeys over to
They're
pop all
gonna.
our balloons.
What repercussions can you do for a balloon?
You'd be surprised.
Also,
A
how
new
big was? Okay, so I was actually
weather
talking to my
balloons
dad
are
about this.
massive. Weather balloons are massive.
Yeah, I was talking about like the thing was it was super. It was higher than commercial airplanes fly, and
Well,
it was
'cause it's
still pretty big
it's
from how
supposed
you saw
to
it.
it's supposed to like stay in like a very specific part of the atmosphere to like record
Yeah,
the data from there. So like the balloons are at least like a foot. I can't remember how big they were,
they're
but
giant.
they're massive. I'm sorry if you can hear my keyboard, but
That's fine.
It's okay.
It's probably gonna pick up mine too, since I
it
don't have a
was
suppressor.
200 feet tall, by the way. Just like pointing that out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was huge.
Well, it makes sense that they waited for it to be over waters then. I have heard some sides. I don't know if this is expressed through our local news, but there's been a little bit of division with like the statewide not statewide, but like countrywide
The
politics.
nation.
Yeah, national politics. So they're being
Which
saying
basically
that
comes down to a statewide.
yeah,
Yeah.
that like it should have been dealt with a while ago, but like then you would have debris falling down and potentially
And like
harming
you would have
civilians.
debris falling down in
Yeah.
like Montana in the middle of nowhere where there's like no infrastructure.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the two sides of the argument that I heard is that it was people being scared of being hit by the debris, but also where it was over when everyone was saying when it should be shot down was in the absolute middle of nowhere where no one could have possibly been hit. So like there was those two sides of the argument, and it's kind of like
But I guess
both of them kind of make sense. But I guess what we chose to do, what we chose to do, I guess, was a good idea.
I mean, think
Well,
of it
you
like
gotta
this. Think of it like this, right? If any damage was to be done over property, that's something that the government has to pay for. But since it's over, I'm assuming international waters, or at least over some waterway,
Right off the Outer Banks.
yeah, that's a lot less you got to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you might have your
kinda have
odd
to
job
think-
fisherman, but
Yeah.
This is another thing to add. Like weather balloons are they're not uncommon. Like the US shoots up about like not shoots up. We did that one to the Chinese one.
Yeah.
They blow up a God, I can't say none of them sound good.
We send
we send like a couple into the air, like just to record data, but
Yeah.
we don't really let it go out of our airspace because like if it goes in some other country's airspace, that's not really good view. It means we can't keep
That's
track.
not good.
We can't really keep track of the massive 200-foot balloon that we send to the air that has radar equipment in it that tracks everything we do.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that like it floated down like following air currents, but the things that I've been hearing that it was because like everyone's saying like, oh, it's a spy balloon. It's getting data from nuclear power plants.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying that I heard is it was a spy balloon.
When I was talking to someone who was very, very passionate that it was a spy balloon, they said like, well, why would they need a weather balloon when they can just use a satellite? And I said to them, why don't they just use a satellite to spy on us instead of weather balloons?
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It's sad how much it's actually affected the country.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Oh, it just shows how like easily we are like freaked out by stuff, and it's like how like pins and needles we are about everything. I don't know. That's not. I mean, like we're all. What I'm trying to say is like we're all on like thin ice, quote unquote. Like we're all like, oh, China does one thing, and we all freak out. It's like, you know.
I think. Okay, I don't think we should get this political on a Johnson
I'm
report.
going to get political.
Which is not
China.
No, not the topic. Not the topic.
Okay, should we pull back real quick
stay on
then?
topic.
We should pull back.
All right, so one thing that we did mention is that a lot of sources were calling this a spy balloon, but I would like
It's
to
not a
point
spy.
out that both our local networks, WITN and WNCT, at least the articles that we pulled up, both call it Chinese balloon. Like they have nearly identical
Yeah.
titles. So we
think it's just
mentioned the
'cause it's
WITN that
it's just a
US.
consensus. All right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry for cutting you off.
you're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
You're fine.
It's just like
So
a common name for it right now.
Yeah.
so the WITN source, as we said before, is U.S. downs Chinese balloon, drawing a threat from China. The WNCT, not on your side one, says U.S. downs Chinese balloon over ocean, moves to recover debris. That's a pretty different title. You know
Yeah.
that I mean the first bit's the same, but the following half of the sentence is very different and moves it in a different direction. So, you guys
Yeah.
want to move up on that?
Like,
I guess that's
it's I don't know. It's just so because okay, yeah, because like even before people knew much about it, it was like they heard Chinese spy balloon, and that already sets like a very
well,
negative narrative.
yeah, I feel like the idea of spy was never even spread around in the first place. You hear the idea in our day and age, you hear the idea of Chinese balloon, and that is the first, like for a lot of people here, that's the first thing that their brain jumps to is that the Chinese are trying to spy on us. So I don't think anybody,
Well, the thing is, these articles are meant to get clicks. So if they called it Chinese weather balloon, it wouldn't get
yeah,
clicks. But if they call it Chinese spy balloon, as it's been called a
yeah,
lot in
That's
local
that's all I'm
media,
thinking. Those are the big news words.
yeah. But what I'm
yeah,
saying is they're not calling it that. They're calling it Chinese balloon. So it seems like they're staying pretty like open on that side of it. Like they're not really choosing a side,
Yeah, they don't want
I
to freak
guess.
no one out too.
they're being central. They're just calling it Chinese balloon.
Yeah.
yeah,
Central West.
But even on the WITN article, just the name, I don't know. I think you can cut away some bits, like you can kind of tunnel in on certain words,
Mm-hmm.
like Chinese balloon drawing a threat from China. Like
Yes.
you don't you can completely get rid of that comma and think like, oh God, they're gonna send more balloons.
Yeah,
yeah,
Which
that is a lot more fear mongering than the other where it just says moves to recover debris because that seems like it's I don't know maybe a positive thing like we're
they're just
moving
trying to clean it
towards
up so it's
yeah.
not
They're just
sitting
trying to
in the
clean
yeah
it
ocean.
up.
God gives his strongest balloons to his saddest sea turtles. Anyway, is there anything else you guys want to add
well
to
let's
this?
look back and because remember we're talking about
Oh,
local news
that is
coverage
true.
right
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we
is
kind of got
there
lost in the sauce.
Well, if we wanna talk local, I mean, do you guys want to go over like what your first thoughts are? Because I mean, I guess we count as local, right?
We're locals. We're native
So
North Carolinians.
we'll
Yeah,
go by what my Discord says is first. Dylan, what was your first thoughts?
after hearing it or like looking at these two articles
I would say
Just after hearing it first, yeah.
okay, no. First impression and then after doing the research.
okay so
Yeah.
first impression I'm thinking I mean, of course, I'm just kind of taking it with a grain of salt because I haven't actually looked into it. And I don't know if it's like actually like that's what's going on, or maybe it's just like we've said, an overreaction to get clicks. But I mean, of course, I'm not really putting it beyond China because like in the past, that's what's been shown to happen
Yeah.
with their scheming going on. So I could see it, I guess, you know, sending a spy thing. I don't know why they would be so open about it. But I mean, looking at this WITN, it looks like they're kind of trying to just use it for clicks, like we've said. I haven't like read the article in depth, so I don't know if they kind of pull back on that, like very assertive, like we are in danger sounding
Yeah.
title. But the WNCT 9 whatever, there's I like theirs better. It seems less scary, like this is a threat. It's more just kind of, this is what's going on. This is how they're recovering. I like the moves to recover debris because it seems like it's a forward progressing, maybe cleanup act. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Kevin?
So, yeah, I'll go next. So, my first impression on all of this was another day, another insert news, like news thing here. Like, it's been happening so much recently where I've just become desensitized to it, of just constant like, oh, guess what China did this time, or guess what blank
Wake
did
up,
this time,
honey.
or
It's time for your national crisis.
yeah,
Okay,
seriously.
honey.
So it's like I'll wake up in the morning and hear like, oh, Chinese balloon, and I'm just like, okay, what's new?
That's great, man.
And it's like I've hit a new low. It's like I can't make myself care all that much anymore.
Oh my
Because
god.
it's like I know everything's happening around me, and it's just adding more and more onto it. So I just choose to be ignorant.
And then he realized he didn't care anymore.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss. But um, after doing all the research, I mean, at first when I first did hear about it, I was like, oh dang, maybe it is a spy balloon. But after doing the research and after hearing like you guys talk about it, that kind of did like open me up to like, hey, maybe it was just a balloon. Because like the idea of satellite, like they could just do that stuff with a satellite, just
Man,
like hit me, and I was like, oh, like
It's like going back in time. Like, why would it's like, oh
yeah,
my god, China sends a Zeppelin over to bomb the US.
yeah. It's like, and plus the satellite would be like so much more sneaky. Like we would not know that at all.
Yeah.
Like we would not realize that we were being spied on through satellite at all. So like either China's stupid and that was a spy balloon, or maybe this is all part of their master plan and we were supposed to pop the spy. Maybe they're Eisening us right now.
No, they're not Eisening us.
Yeah,
They're not Eisening.
China's Eisen for real, and they're just
Freaking
playing with
Xi
us.
Jinping whips his hair back, and then flamenco guitar starts playing.
Oh my god. Yeah, I feel like some. I mean, there's definitely gonna like the whole sinister like repercussions will be made. Ooh. But like,
I don't think it's
we're gonna make them a new balloon or something. Give them like $5, and then they'll be off our tail or something.
dude, no, those things are expensive.
Give him a few dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with what we've been saying so far about how the WITN drawing threat from China, that is very fear-mongering, but like I really, again, I know that we've all said this, but I like the idea of moves to recover debris because it's kind of just like, yeah, this happened. Here's how we're gonna try to fix things. Well, not fix things, but try
We
to like
shut
clean
it
them up.
down, but we'll clean it up too.
We'll clean
Yeah,
it up.
yeah, like we're not gonna just leave it there. Oh, wait, you know what? I just read part of the thing, and it says the balloon which the Pentagon said was being used for China, but for surveillance. So the Pentagon themselves said that this was a spy balloon.
They just
That
maybe they're just scared of balloons. That's my
yeah,
theory.
maybe they are the monkeys from BTG.
They just sounded the
Oh, man.
alarms like, oh my god, there's a balloon.
Maybe
I've been trying my
maybe
best not to make balloons references. Balloons
no,
Tower
no,
The
Defense
maybe
game-
all of
references.
this is leading into the lore of Bloons Tower
Oh my
Defense City.
gosh.
It goes
Have
crazy.
you guys
man.
ever played BTD City?
Nah.
No.
Where
Alright,
it has
let
like
me
actual
let's talk
lore?
about this later.
Yeah,
Let me
let's
get
get
Yeah.
Seth
Ethan
and
and
Matthew. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to fill each other in
I've
for the
kind
lore
of
though.
I've kind of said my initial reaction to it. I mean, instantly when I heard there was big balloon kind of really high up, I was like, oh, that's a weather balloon. And then got into an argument about what a weather balloon is and other ways they could spy on us. Like, yeah, there could be the mastermind Eisen slicks his hair back, takes his glasses off, like, uh, laughs at us like, "Ha, you fool! We actually have all your nuclear power plant secrets from this balloon."
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's so many other ways to like spy on the U.S. Like, dude, just go on Instagram. You'll find out secrets about everyone.
Yeah.
Don't ask Reddit.
Dude, Reddit's a great thing. Everyone thinks they're like private detective. And so they share all this information. Anyway, I'm gonna get on a Reddit rant if I keep talking. Um, no, but after doing the research and looking at it, I think a lot of people are more not that concerned, but more like, okay, yeah, it's a weather balloon, but like it shouldn't have come in our airspace, which is
Mhm.
true. That's a fair argument because the U.S. also does that. Maybe not as much as they would like to admit, but I think that's a practice because like if you're surveying the atmosphere, you should at least warn the countries it's gonna fly into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
or
like
get permission or something.
with
Like, hey, we're gonna throw this balloon over your
it also
country.
didn't
Don't
help
freak out like
It
children.
also didn't help that, like, during all this chaos, I say chaos in big quotation marks, there was supposed to be a meeting between, like, a US official. There was a US official, I don't remember his title, and, like, a Chinese official to kind of, like, not thin the ice, but thicken it between China and the US, and he canceled because of all this.
Yeah.
So, I
I
don't
feel
really.
like that the cancellation's not a good idea.
No, it wasn't. Not. It probably wasn't. He probably could have went. I was like, "Hey, bud, what's with the balloon?"
Yeah.
I think there's just so much distrust with other people right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This balloon really showed a lot of the problems.
All right, let's let Matt finish her
Yeah,
up
Matthew,
because we're
Matthew,
hitting
finish
on
her up.
about 20 minutes. So
Have fun editing.
The only thing I remember is waking up from a nap and my mom would be like, "Get in the car, we're gonna go find a balloon." And we went out to the field with like
A
she wasn't
shotgun.
even explaining it. Well, we just went out into the field with binoculars. We were just trying to get my stepdad to shoot it the entire time. It was y'all say it wasn't crazy, but it was crazy on my half. I was like, "What is this balloon? Is it spraying pheromones that will make my?"
Alex Jones, he's seeing all the frogs turn
Yeah,
gay because of this
exactly.
balloon.
Is it
Balloon's gonna turn
spying on me?
gay.
Does it make me naked? It's just it was kind of crazy to think about because we didn't have a lot of details and it happened so quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your mom came and said, Matthew, wake up, there's a big balloon! There's a balloon!
Anyway, that's about all we got. So, Chappelle,
Yep.
we might have
Yep.
gone on a little bit of a tangent about balloons,
We
but
did.
that's okay because we talked
We're
about
interested to see how it
media
will be in
outlets.
the future.
You can see how it really affected our county.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was kind
Yeah.
of crazy. Some people didn't care, some people cared.
I didn't really care, but apparently Matthew, your mom really cared.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
it, Johnson Report. Seth, do the outro.
See you later, Johnson reporters.